Good evening, good evening, good evening, and thank you for joining me here with Conversations with Taz. Whew. Tonight is going to be a doozy. Um, but let's start with one story that has been making its rounds all over social media. Everybody's been losing their collective shit over it. Excuse me, and that is the rumor surrounding ASAP Rocky and Rihanna. And this is a prime example that people just love to hear anything negative, especially when it comes to women, especially successful Black women. And they will just go with it, even though it's illogical. There's no sources behind it. It doesn't matter. Makes them feel better about themselves. So, coming from Newsbreak, fashion influencer who started Reckless Rihanna ASAP Rocky cheating rumor issues apology. Earlier this week, unsubstantiated rumors circulated on social media that ASAP Rocky was cheating behind pregnant Rihanna's back. Gossip spread on Thursday, April 14th, that the rapper was allegedly caught cheating on the Umbrella singer with designer Amina Mawoudi, who has previously designed footwear for the singer's Fenty brand. I, The claims quickly went viral when Rihanna trending as the number one topic on Twitter. Now keep in mind, Rihanna is pregnant. She does not need this stress. While the couple themselves have not addressed the rumors, the original poster of the tweet, Louis Pisano, issued a statement on social media apologizing for their actions and for stirring up gossip. Hi, all. So, I'd like to address the situation, the tweet read. Last night, I made a dumb decision to tweet some information I had received. I'm not going to talk about sources, blame others for a discussion that was started, etc. Because at the end of the day, I made the decision to draft that tweet, press send, and put that out with my name on it. So, I'd like to formally apologize to all parties I involved with my actions and for my reckless tweets. I fully accept the consequences of my actions for my tweets and any harm they cause. The statement continued reading, I have no excuse for it. I've been way too wrapped up in Twitter drama and unfortunately leaned into being messy as a brand, which is something going forward I'm going to move away from because you don't have a choice. I'm going to take some time away from Twitter to figure out what this looks like and how I can start using my platforms better as I've gotten away from using them for more positive work, the statement concluded. Again, I apologize to them for this unnecessary drama. Baby, you can take all the time away that you want. In this day and age, uh, even the common Joe is learning to get a social media attorney. Yes, that is a real thing. So, darlings, you about to get sued. It doesn't matter who the alleged source was. You did not confirm anything. And even if it was confirmed, that is not your personal business to tell. It is not your personal business to tell. Everybody is so caught up on these clicks and likes and trying to take somebody out of a position to replace them in a position, trying to have these gotcha moments with people like, who, I know something about your personal life and I'm going to let everybody know. It's like, really? That's weird. I don't care if it's online or in real life. That's weird. That's you need a therapist, boo. You need a therapist. If you're out here researching people to have a gotcha moment to prove that you're better than them or to feel better about yourself or to take them down a notch because you want the position that you perceive them to have, baby, no. If you're not talented, just say so. You can just be on social media as a spectator. Not everybody is meant to make content. Not everybody is meant to be an entertainer or an artist. That's fine. Every machine needs several cogs. And this machine called life needs several cogs. Everybody has a position to play. Play yours. No different than a football team. Everybody is not meant to be the quarterback. It is fine. You could be the defensive end. You could be the offensive end. You could be the running back. You could be a linebacker. You could be the damn safety. You could be the center. I don't give a shit. Play your role. Play your position. Um, quick update On the Johnny Depp defamation case, Johnny Depp himself did take the stand today. And I have been watching it on and off because for me, it's very triggering. It's very emotional. And my heart goes out to Johnny Depp because what he endured and what he experienced today, it was very, very obvious how it has affected him. He looked like a shell of a man and sounded like a shell of a man on that stand. And me watching him fight hard not to make any type of eye contact with her, not to look at her, and she's just very cold, very smug, very like that quintessential abuser look, like you better not say anything. And there were times, to me, it appeared that he wanted to say more, but it's as if he was afraid to say more, which I don't blame him after everything that she has put him through. But let's get into our first video of the evening. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. If you have any small children around you right now, cut the volume down. Please either step away with them or send them away for about 3 minutes. This is why a lot of people are afraid of Christians. I will tell you this. Let's go.
No biggie. Just a family-friendly Easter float. Don't mind the screaming.
But these are the same people, and the irony is not lost on me that the name of this church is called Pleasant View, because nothing about that was a pleasant view. And yes, I am saying that as the niece of a former pastor, the granddaughter of 2 chairmen of the deacon boards, and the daughter of a pastor. These are the same people that will claim that they are terrified of Muslims. But this is what they do. These are the same people that don't want to acknowledge or explain to their children the mere existence of the LGBTQIA plus community, because that could be harmful for the children. These are the same people that don't want critical race theory taught because that would be too scary for children. But that right there isn't traumatizing. That right there isn't traumatizing. That right there wouldn't give a child a false sense of what their life is supposed to be and what they are supposed to live up to out of fear of that. Because we know how children's imaginations work and how they take things in. I would say do better. But one of the greatest things I've learned in my little lifetime is that Christianity in the United States is just about control. Removing others' consent and controlling them for a centralized agenda that's generally based to help a handful of mortal creatures on this planet. It's not for a higher purpose. It's not for a higher calling. It's not for God. Now, if you're a fan of anime, and if you subscribe to Crunchyroll, buckle up for this controversy. Let's roll it.
Okay, so Crunchymation announced a dubcast for some of their new shows, and it awakened all the racist people with anime profile photos. The moment they announced black voice actors would be getting roles, people said they would boycott the company as a whole. These are the people voicing your favorite anime girls in English dubs? We as Aryan anime fans should not stand for this any longer. Our holy war against the Night Skins will never end. You are unfit to voice our characters! I don't know what truck reincarnated you into a world where Japanese characters are Aryan, but these stories are loved by people of all backgrounds. There are amazing black voice actors creating iconic characters. A black animation studio worked on Attack on Titan, One Piece, and JoJo's. And there are black creators making manga and anime of their own. If you can't handle that, you shouldn't be trying to boycott Crunchyroll. You should be trying to schedule some therapy!
Don't you just love how white people, especially white people within the United States, always try to move the goalpost? They will be racist as shit to Asian immigrants, recent Asian immigrants, and people of Asian descent, but then turn around and call Japanese anime characters, Aryan characters, and refer to themselves as Aryan fans. I wonder who else liked to use the word Aryan so much. Like, in the world of comic books, anime, cosplay, white people love to take ownership of everything and act as if it is solely for them and solely about them, and everything must be whitewashed. As they simultaneously say that history was never whitewashed. First of all, it is being whitewashed in real time before our eyes. But I digress. It's a conversation for another time. But it's like y'all will literally try to whitewash everything. Everything. They want to whitewash everything except their white on white crime. Want to know what I mean? Story coming out of France from Le Monde. Nestle remains silent on child deaths from contaminated pizzas in France. The food giant is citing the ongoing preliminary investigation into its Brutality pizzas to avoid making any statement. The families are crushed. An 8-year-old boy died in Paris after suffering from severe hemolytic uremic syndrome, HUS. Sorry if I butchered that. A 12-year-old girl is in a vegetative state and no longer reacts to stimuli from her surroundings. A newborn baby died 8 hours after birth. A 7-year-old child had multiple cardiac arrests. Others came close to the worst, like one family whose 3 children, aged 2, 9, and 10, were hospitalized between the end of January and the beginning of February and are still suffering from the consequences. What these tragedies have in common is that they occurred a few days after the children ate Butoli's Flasha pizzas produced in the same Nestle factory. A preliminary investigation was opened on March 22nd by the Public Health Unit of the Paris Public Prosecutor's Office for endangerment of others, involuntary injury, and involuntary manslaughter. Excuse me. On Wednesday, April 13th, gendarmes from l'Office central de lutte contre les tendances à l'environnement, the Central Office for the Fight Against Environmental and Public Health Violations, conducted searches at Nestle's headquarters. The French Public Health Agency's investigation confirmed the link between the HUS cluster and the Buitoni pizza. They identified 53 confirmed cases as of April 13th, including 2 dead children. You know, if these companies are not destroying people's water supplies, the land, the economy, they, you know what? I truly can't. Let's have a little bit of lighthearted news real quick. Coming from Variety.com. Whoops. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's group effort initiative partners with Netflix to expand hiring pool. Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively's company, Group Effort Initiative, is working with Netflix to hire people from underrepresented, I can't talk today, underrepresented communities and film and television production jobs. The partnership, which focuses on below the line career opportunities, aims to create training and entry level job options for marginalized communities in the US and Canada. The program will support GEI participants with on set production training and placement on several Netflix productions in North America in 2022. We started the Group Effort Initiative a little less than 2 years ago to create a pipeline for underrepresented voices in our industry, Reynolds and Lively said. Its growth has exceeded our wildest expectations, and it could not have succeeded as it has without the unwavering support of Netflix. What started on the Adam Project will now expand to many more Netflix productions. We thank Scott Stuber and the entire team for their commitment to inclusion. We won't let you down. Now, see, that's how you not only use your star power, but your privilege to make a difference in lives. That's how you make things so much better. Let's get to our next clip. Because if you're unaware, they're still banning books, but not the books you would think. Oh, so not the books you would think. Let's go.
In case you missed it, the state of Florida just banned like half of their new math books because of critical race theory being in them. And this is my impression of what I think that approval process looked like. Are we all seeing this?
No, what's wrong?
The color of the text is black.
Most books actually have black text.
Maybe in Obama's America, but not here. Pass. This question is talking about a business owner named Jose. Should we really be teaching our kids that people of color have jobs? I feel like that would... This question is talking about a monument in Uganda. Like, everyone knows everyone there lives in huts anyways. Let's not lie to our children. This question is an abomination. It's citing statistics from the United Nations Division for Human Rights. And this question is referencing white noise. So we can't say anything now, can we? A lot of the lines in here aren't straight. This seems like a project from the gay agenda.
If 2 plus 2 is 4,
Right.
and 5 plus 5 is 10,
Okay.
what the fuck is this?
Florida's Department of Education rejects, get this, 54 math books, arguing they included prohibited topics, including critical race theory, in math books. Governor Ron DeSantis reacting in a statement saying publishers attempted to slap a coat of paint on an old house built on the foundation of race essentialism, bizarrely for elementary school students.
Why make trillions when we could make billions?
Where did you learn to count?
In Florida.
You suck at math.
You know, nothing quite says America like let's ban fucking math books from schools. As if that's what's, the real danger for kids in school. This place is a fucking shit show.
Sad part about it is that people doing this and using this as political fodder know exactly what critical race theory is. They're purposefully and willfully lying to the public for shits and giggles, because the lowest common denominator, the least educated in America, is who they want to target. They need people who are dumb enough and desperate enough to continuously vote against their best interest, thinking that they are voting in their best interest. But in the first video where it left off with, some of these lines aren't quite straight. Let us piggyback off of that. I don't know if you're aware, but Tucker Carlson. Yes, the ketchup heir himself, Mr. Entertainment, Fox News fucktwat. Coming out of Newsweek, he has a documentary. Tucker Carlson's End of Men doc mocked as homoerotic. This is so gay. Oops. Okay. Some Twitter users have mocked the homoerotic nature of a trailer for Tucker Carlson's upcoming documentary about testosterone levels in men. The teaser trailer for an episode in a new season of Tucker Carlson Originals called The End of Men features plenty of shots of shirtless, muscly men. They are seen wrestling, chopping wood, firing guns, and at one point, a naked man is captured standing with his arms outstretched while his genitals are charged at what some call a Tesla charging station. I promise you are not prepared for Tucker's latest montage, Nikki McCain Ramirez wrote alongside the clip in a tweet that has been viewed more than 4 million times. And there's another tweet that says this is actually real. Evidently, he likes men without shirts, which may explain the Putin obsession. Once a society collapses, then you're in hard times, a man with a British accent says in a voiceover. Well, hard iron sharpens iron, as they say, and those hard times inevitably produce men who are tough, men who are resourceful, men who are strong enough to survive. They go on to reestablish order, and so the cycle begins again. The trailer prompted a flood of responses, with some expressing shock that it was not satire and others suggesting it could serve as an ad for the gay dating site, the day dating app Grindr. This is actually real. George Takai said, "This is so gay." Another gentleman tweeted, "I'm sitting here next to my gay husband, living my gay life, reading a gay novel as research for my new gay book, and yet I am not and will never be as gay as whatever is haunting Tucker Carlson's fantasies." Bradley Whitford joked, "I thought I was straight until I watched this. Thank you, at Tucker Carlson. Thank you. This is so gay." Do fascists get off on Tucker's weird video? Walter Schwab tweeted, "A guy shoves his junk in a light box. A narrator says hard repeatedly. One chugs water like beer at a frat house. Two writhe shirtless. One squeezes a cow udder with no bucket, so just for fun. And one shoots at jugs of yellow oil." Another person suggested there was some chance Tucker is trolling his own audience because there's a gay porn less gay than this. A woman named Shauna tweets, "Remember, kids, don't say gay. Now please enjoy something we made that couldn't be gayer if it were dancing to YMCA in a rainbow thong." Journalist Justin Baragona tweeted that Carlson would get arrested if he showed this video in a Florida classroom, where teaching about sexual orientation to children under 9 is now prohibited after a controversial Don't Say Gay bill was signed into law. Twitter user at Golden Gate Blonde also referred the legislation, writing, "Remember, kids, don't say gay." Fox has been contacted for comment. You know, they always telling themselves, always, because they always go, whoo, too far. Way too far. Trigger warning. There was a very young child arrested because he was suspected of stealing a bag of potato chips. Spoiler alert, he did not steal said bag of chips. But you may want to buckle up for just how many police officers came to teach him a lesson and how they handled the situation. Let's go.
Stealing stuff. If he breaks into your house to steal something. Nah, man. What, he stole a bag of chips? So y'all treat me like a whole cold-blooded fucking killer? Keep walking, dude.
Warning, this is disturbing as fuck.
What are y'all doing? What is y'all doing? Guess. Guess what I'm doing. Hey, you're like a baby to me. Why you? Guess what I'm doing. I don't know what you doing.
How far have we fucking degraded as a society that grown men have the authority to snatch up children because he's suspected of stealing a bag of potato chips?
See, just snatching him up a bike like you're a fucking grown-ass man.
Manhandling a child.
Ain't he saying it wasn't him?
And the other kids are saying it wasn't even that kid. But even if it was that kid, you got 4 grown-ass men surrounding this child, snatching him off a bike and throwing him in the back of a police car over a bag of goddamn potato chips.
If he stole some chips, I'll pay for him. I'll pay for him.
That child's forever scarred with PTSD from this event. This is the phone number to the Syracuse Police Department. Please call them. And this is why it's forever fuck the police.
Right now, there is a white boy who is a teenager. Because of his father's connections, he has repeatedly sexually assaulted women, traumatizing them deeply. He continuously gets a slap on the wrist. He has yet to be arrested or manhandled or anything like that. But a black child is treated like a full-blown, hardened criminal. Not even that. He's not even treated as a human being or a child. This is why I've said in the past, and I will forever say this until it changes. We are never allowed to have a childhood, and they are never asked to grow up. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. I'll see you all in 2 and 2. Let's run the April ad. Don't forget, this month's promo code is TAZ424 because my birthday is this Sunday. So make sure you get something. See you in 2 and 2. All right. We're going to jump back into it. Here we go.
Well, hey there, y'all. So in today's Judge Not news, y'all, this unqualified seat warmer is Trump-appointed U.S. District Judge Catherine Kimball Mizell. And by unqualified, I mean that literally. When she was appointed as a lifetime U.S. District Judge, she had 0 trial experience except as an intern. She was even rated not qualified by the American Bar Association prior to her appointment. Well, yesterday, this unqualified judge voided a national mask mandate for airplanes and other transportation. Showcasing her lack of understanding and qualifications, she says,
"Wearing a mask means nothing. At most it traps virus droplets, but it neither sanitizes the person wearing the mask nor sanitizes the conveyance."
Thanks to her ruling, the TSA has stated that they will no longer enforce the mask mandate. The DOJ may appeal.
Out of all the judges that Trump appointed, 187 were considered well qualified. About 67 I'm like, they'll do. 10 were deemed unqualified, not qualified at all. She was one of the 10. Never tried a case. Nothing. She was SCOTUS Clarence Thomas's intern. And then at 33 years old, after being nominated in September of 2020, later that year, she was confirmed. Confirmation was very close within the Senate. But this is her quote regarding her ruling. Wearing a mask cleans nothing. At most, it traps virus droplets, but it never sanitizes the person wearing the mask nor sanitizes the conveyances. Yeah, if you want to know my full thoughts regarding her and this utter change on the mask mandate, it's in the audio podcast, Tastastic Tuesday. You can go to the link in my bio and listen to it there. Or I think it's the video. Okay. For some reason this week it shows up as a video after this one. But yeah, let's just roll on.
Effort to remove Marjorie Taylor Greene from ballot can proceed, judge says. That the case can move forward. The lawsuit attempting to take her off the ballot for her alleged participation, support of that insurrection.
So they're trying to prevent voters from voting for you. How is that democracy?
Well, it's not, Tucker. That's the thing. These people hate the people in my district so much they look down on them because they voted for me and sent me to Washington to fight for the things that most Americans care about. And now the progressives, the people that donate to dark money groups, the 501c3s and the foundations, they've hired up some attorneys from New York who hate the people in my district and don't believe that they should have the right to elect who they want to send to Washington, which is me.
You don't get to try to be a part of the United States government and a leader in said government when you attempted to overthrow that government.
Let's not forget that Marjorie Taylor Greene knew that she could not win in the district that she originally lived in. So she pulled a Beverly Hillbillies slightly. She just packed up and moved to a place where she knew she could easily win. She has no idea what the people there want. She just knows there were white people there to vote for her. She doesn't know what it's really like to live in that district. She's there for how long during the year? She's an uber conspiracy theorist and truly believes that riding the coattails of Trump and Matt Gaetz is her ticket to fame. She stands on family values, but is the furthest thing from family values. To me, she is just the female version of Donald J. Trump Sr. So I'm glad they are finally taking steps to start removing these problematic and extremely dangerous politicians that are knowingly and fervently putting out misinformation to their constituents. They are fear-mongering. They are harboring racism every chance that they freaking get. And they are unapologetic about it. It doesn't just affect those that align themselves with the GOP. It affects all of us because we don't live in two separate United States where it's like, oh, they just occupy these states. We don't travel to those states and we occupy these states. No, we are all intertwined and intermingled together. And it is time for it to stop. Barring books from schools, inciting insurrections, and plausible coups affects all of us. Because if they keep going down this trail unchecked, where are our next set of doctors, nurses, researchers going to come from? Where are our next round of farmers going to come from? And I'm naming these professions because these are professions we fervently need just to survive. As much as we love attorneys, etc., they're not a necessity to sustain life. But if you have a heart attack, do you really want someone raised on conspiracy theories and not educated properly because so much was pulled from their curriculum and they were raised on conspiracy theories and feelings and some wild foot washing Baptist evangelical Christian homeschooled doctrine where they're going to rub ivermectin on your chest to cure a heart attack? Do you want to go in because you're slipping into sepsis and they give you hydrochloroquine because it's the only thing that they know exists? I would hope not. And speaking of crazed, delusional evangelical Christians, buckle up for this next clip. Whew, it's a doozy.
Listen up.
I wanted to know who was behind all of these anti-abortion and anti-trans bills, so I did my research, and what I found is absolutely horrifying, and every American needs to know. In every article about these bills that I found, 3 letters kept popping up. ADF. Over and over again. But who are they? ADF stands for Alliance Defending Freedom. They're the world's largest legal organization committing to protecting religious freedom. When they ask you to join, they say it's to defend your God-given and constitutionally protected freedoms. But it's not religious freedom, it's Christian supremacy. Let me show you. ADF is one of the most organized and influential Christian legal groups in the country. They were co-founded by James Dobson, who also founded Focus on the Family. They focus on religious liberty, opposition to abortion, and opposition to same-sex marriage. When it comes to religion and public institution, one of their goals is for Christianity to be reflected in the U.S. legal system, including prayer and display of crosses. When it comes to opposition of the LGBT community, they are in favor of homosexuality being a crime. They support conversion therapy. They also oppose same-sex marriage, civil unions, as well as adoption by same-sex couples. That's not the only person they oppose adoption for. They also try to bar Jewish people from adopting. They're also opposed to abortion. The Blackstone Legal Fellowship is ADF's summer legal training program founded in 2000 for the purpose of preparing Christian law students for professional legal careers. And Supreme Court Justice Amy Coney Barrett was a paid speaker at Blackstone on 5 occasions between 2013 and 17. Here's more people that have been affiliated or associated with ADF. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis has also been a speaker at ADF events. Other public officials that have supported ADF include Ted Cruz, Greg Abbott, and Donald Trump. Anywhere you see these hateful bills being passed, ADF is behind it. The goal is to turn America into a Christian theocracy. There is so much more that I cannot fit into a TikTok video, and I encourage you to please research this. Because as of right now, they're winning. Our rights, our lives, and our country is at stake. This is a hostile takeover by a Christian organization, and they have their claws in everything. When you pull back the curtain, ADF is behind it all.
This is a prime example of why people say, excuse me, there's no hate like Christian love. First of all, in the United States, you have no God-given rights. The United States is not a Christian nation. The United States has no official religion, just like it has no official language. It's number one. Number two, how disrespectful is it for you to try to force everyone to assimilate and respect and condone your religious beliefs while you are doing such a non-Christian thing as not respecting other people's religious beliefs and their spiritualities? And here's the biggest thing that far too many Christians miss. You are not supposed to beat somebody over the head to get them to become a Christian. You are not supposed to shame someone into doing it. But like I said previously in the show, Christianity within the United States has been so bastardized and so chopped and screwed. Your actions, your life is to be the example. It is what's supposed to pull people in. You are to keep your light trimmed and burning. You are supposed to be on the ready and prepared for the return of the bridegroom. You are supposed to keep an ample amount of oil in your lamp to keep it trimmed and burning for the arrival. You are to be your brother's keeper. You are not supposed to judge. You're supposed to believe in equality and love. But then you turn around and wonder why nobody wants to join you. Do you wonder why so many cults evolve around the concept of Christianity? But let's go to the next clip. Trigger warning. I will be giving you updates on the case of Patrick Loyola, who was murdered by a Michigan police officer. So we'll have a clip, and then I've got an article for you coming out of AOL.com. Here we go.
So the officer in Michigan who executed Patrick Loyola has been identified. Trigger warning. Now, the chief of police said he wasn't going to name the individual unless he was charged. Well, the internet police had other plans. Here he is, Christopher Paul Shore, the executionist. Now, Mr. Loyola was resisting arrest, but that shouldn't mean that he deserved a death sentence. But when you're a black man in this country, it most certainly does. And per the report, the body cam of the officer suddenly goes out right before he shoots him, and just magically comes back on when first responders are performing CPR on Mr. Loyola. Now, they're going to spoon feed us it was because of the tussle and the physical combat, but we all know those cameras are made for that. Otherwise, there would be no reason to have them. And if you did some research, you would know that you just can't hit that button and turn it off. You got to hold that button down 3 seconds at a time just to get it to turn off. Oh, but check out the difference in Sandy Springs, Georgia. There was a man that was wanted for murder, burglarized a home. Cops flooded the house. They begged him to come downstairs. They damn near pleaded with him. This same individual then runs down the stairs, grabs an officer, stabs him 6 times. They don't try to kill him. They tase him and just simply hit him with pepper balls. 4 officers struggled with this individual inside and outside the house until it ultimately got to the lawn where another officer shot him. Not killed him, just wounded him. Here he is, Matthew Lance. Do you think a black man would have got that same treatment? And out of all the officers that were present, not one officer shot to kill him. And you see his rap sheet. So when actual fear is present in an actual weapon in an attempted murder of a police officer, you still are able to apprehend the suspect and give him due process rather than a damn death sentence. You see, policing isn't a private company or a corporation. It's paid for by our tax dollars, which means they are accountable to us. And public servant should equal public accountability. And that is facts on facts. Justice for Patrick Loyola. Carry on.
Autopsy shows Patrick Loyola shot in the head by Michigan cop. An independent autopsy confirms that Patrick Loyola, a black man, was shot in the back of the head by a Michigan police officer while face down on the ground, lawyers for his family said Tuesday. The finding by former Detroit area medical examiner matches what was seen last week on a video released by the Grand Rapids police chief. The official autopsy report hasn't been released to the public. Loyola was killed at the end of a traffic stop in western Michigan on April 4th. He and the white officer physically struggled on the ground before the 26-year-old refugee from Congo was shot. Loyola wasn't armed, though the officer was heard on the video demanding that he take his hand off the police taser. This independent autopsy report confirms what we all witnessed in the horrifying video footage. Unarmed, Patrick Loyola was conscious until the bullet entered his head, instantly ending what could have been a long and fruitful life, attorney Ben Crump said. Here's the thing. If you have someone pinned down, face down onto the ground, how are they a threat? Let's play devil's advocate. Let's say he was able to get the cop's taser. Police officers' tasers shoot out prongs, we'll say. If you're down on the ground, your arm can only go so far. And why wouldn't you use the taser as a trained police officer? It is amazing how Black people, brown people are expected to have more restraint and more training than the professionals that are trained to do their job. It is amazing that police officers can de-escalate a situation when it's the complexion for protection or the complexion that has connection. But it's like, if it's brown, gun it down. But we're not supposed to be nervous about the police. We're just supposed to comply and live. We can comply, we can sleep, we can just exist, and we still can't live. This is worse than the Wild West. But you know, excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. But that's not where racism begins or ends in this country. Let's stay on the racism train just for one more minute here. Let's go.
Trigger warning for the video you're about to see, but I just want to make sure that Patrick Howley's face was out there in 4K so everybody could see, just in case you were walking by him on the street one day and, I don't know, felt froggy.
This award show was really kind of a train wreck. There was a chick who was co-hosting it, and they said that she tested positive for the Rona. So let's take a look last night. I don't know who this black guy is who's hosting it. It's supposed to be country music. No offense. I mean, y'all have hip-hop and basketball. You know what I mean? Just fly with your flock, bro. Not against you, but you're up here being like, the melanated people invented country music. At the CMT, we was making country music in Wakanda before Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard done stole the black man's country music. There were so many black people there, sorry to say, but like so many black celebrities who have nothing to do with country music, and it's like, why? Country music's different. Country music's different. It's not Wakanda.
This is how white supremacy and propaganda works. See how he spoke over the host and gave fellow white supremacists and racists an impression? So they're going to carry that and go, I saw the video. Here's the YouTube video you can go to. This is what this black man said. But there were black people there because there are black people who sing country music. And yes, country music has its roots with black people, as most music genres within the United States do. But that host, he requested to be the host because he's a huge country music fan. And the person who was supposed to be his co-host tested positive for COVID, and she did her thing from her living room. But he had another co-host that was on set who, shocking, is a black man who is a wildly popular country music recording artist. And there's always black people at pretty much every award show because black people are diverse. We are not just stuck to rap and R&B because we have our roots in rock and roll and jazz and heavy metal and classical music. But yeah, let's keep running with racial stereotypes and purity fucking ignorance. But yeah, let's keep avoiding CRT and let's keep banning books because we need more like him, right? You knew about Wakanda, but you didn't know about Falcon? You didn't know about the new Captain America? Let me guess, you probably protested Black Panther too, huh? You probably asked people, why can't, Black Panther be played by a white actor, or why not White Panther? Bet you're one of those. I betcha you're one of those. But got 2 videos coming up and an article regarding Elon Musk. And then we're going to call it a night because, why not move from one fuck twat to another? Let's go.
Twitter has a plan to stop Elon Musk from taking over the company. Twitter adopted what's known as a poison pill strategy, which is designed to prevent hostile takeovers. In this particular case, if Musk gets to 15% ownership, Twitter can issue a lot of new, really cheap shares of Twitter stock to everyone who currently owns shares except for Musk. And why does that matter? It has the effect of reducing Musk's ownership percentage. This way, no matter how many shares he buys, his stake can never get high enough to take control of the company.
Here's the thing. I know Musk is trying to gaslight people right now. One, he wants a lot of focus taken away from things going on with Tesla within the United States and outside of the United States and a plethora of other things. But let's not forget, Elon Musk has zero skin. You criticize him in any way, he is coming to sue you. He is coming to silence you. And the Tesla nutfucks, they're almost they're almost as bad as Trumpla fucks. They come out of nowhere. They're illogical. They don't want to see facts. They just want to don't mess with Elon. Don't mess with Elon, bruh. Elon would buy you, chop you up, and feed you to the alligators for fun because his daughter needed entertainment that day. But even with that put into place, according to a Newsbreak article, even if it discourages his takeover attempt, Musk could still take over the company by waging a proxy fight in which shareholders vote to retain or dismiss the company's current directors. Twitter said its plan doesn't prevent the board from negotiating or accepting an acquisition proposal if it's in the company's best interest. They're gearing up for a battle here with Musk, said Daniel Ives, an analyst for Wedbush Securities. They also have to give themselves time to try to find another potential buyer. Musk wants to take the company private. He's like, oh, I can save free speech. Not if you turn the company private. And this is what people need to realize why they're like, oh, this will be so great if Elon Musk. No, it will be heavily, heavily censored and geared towards his point of views and what he feels is right and what he feels should be protected under free speech. And trust me, criticism of the 1% will definitively not be tolerated under his reign. It will turn into, it's actually pronounced parlay, but since they're stupid, Parler 2.0. It will be the social media platform that Trump wanted to create. But here's another nugget about Senor Musk.
Hey, remember that time that Elon Musk threw a giant tantrum and called California fascist because during a COVID lockdown he had to shut down a Tesla production plant for a few weeks?
Hold on, let us run that one back just one more time, because it's amazing what makes people get quiet nowadays. It is truly, truly amazing what make people get quiet. So let's run that back one more time.
Hey, remember that time that Elon Musk threw a giant tantrum and called California fascist because during a COVID lockdown he had to shut down a Tesla production plant for a few weeks? I remember. Well, guess what? The CCP just did the same exact thing in Shanghai to one of his Tesla production plants, but he seems to have nothing to say about that. Interesting. I wonder why. Oh, while this is going on, don't pay attention to that. Let's talk about Twitter. Yeah, that's not a distraction.
Told you he is using this Twitter thing as a distraction and to keep things else. Because let's think about the conversations that happen on Twitter that really do not happen on any other platform, and the in-depth conversations that happen on Twitter that don't and cannot happen on other platforms because everybody else's community guidelines violations are centered on stifling the conversations that we truly need to have. But as I say on every Tastastic Tuesday, that's the Audio Podcast, what do I know? But until tomorrow, each one teach one, each one reach one. We out of here.